Got a real crappy time coming, because what's going to happen here is your condo fees are going to get so high, it's going to affect the values of your condos. And then what's happening here is you have the perfect storm in a negative way. You have the condo, the new condo rules, which are mandatory reserves, and somebody's looking over your shoulders. You're not self-governing anymore. And at the 25-year mark, you have to do your first inspection for structural problems. And again, this is a problem because you have a disinterested third party who just wants to cover their butt telling you what you need to do to your building. Well, guess what? It could be millions of dollars. Morning. So millions of dollars divided up by the 100 condos or the 20 condos or the 50 condos, whatever you got. What do you think that's going to do to your condo fees? Now, if you pay it all out as assessments, that's the smart move. If you guys do that, if you get together, everybody kicks in 100 grand, gets the stuff done, and then you don't affect your condo fees. But, morning. But the reality of it is the condo fees are going to go up anyway, because I'm talking about the perfect storm in a bad way again, is because guess what? All the insurance rates for all this stuff just went off the scale. This is the first time we got hit like this since 1964. And that was Hurricane Donna came in. And I mean, I have property that's 1.5 miles from the beach that got 5 foot of water in it for Hurricane Ian. So that tells you how impactful this was. Now, people have been here forever. They see this as a cycle. People who have other ideas, they think this is global warming. Honestly, I don't care what it is. I just hope the cycle's over with, or that it slows down. At least until I die. How's that? Morning. So I always love the people who can walk on the beach with no shoes and stuff. I got sissy feet. I can't do it. But my gosh. And it's cold. So I'm like, wow, you're tough. That's why I said hi to that lady. So anyway, here you go. This is all, this is the low tide. This little gully right here you seeing, that's where the fish hang out. The certain types of fish, I think they're called, let me think of what they're called, bonitas. Good eating fish. They like to hang out in those gullies. And then you have, so that's good fishing. Good morning. That's pretty cool. So I'm getting, you see the pipe over here? You see it over there? That pipe runs the whole length of the beach. Now back there, it was buried. And I think they started burying it and they realized it was going to take so long. They probably went back to the town and said, look, how much of this stuff do you want us to get done? Because if you want to get more stuff done, guess what you need to do? You need to give us less nonsense to do. And if you can let everybody walk over this pipe while we're here, they're supposed to be done by April. Then they're going to have to come back. I was talking to one of the guys. He says they're going to have to come back. So Milton, Helene, Debbie, all of them storms have impacted how much work these guys have got done. Because what happens is the towns rely on these people to help out when the hurricanes come in, because it's all hands on deck. Look at this guy. Look at that right there. You see him? Isn't he beautiful? Oh, there you go. I hated to stir him up, but there you go. You see him flying away? So, beautiful day on the beach. It's gonna be a wonderful day. It's supposed to be like 78 today. Good morning. She looks sad. Sad lady on the beach. I guess the kid got her up early. She needed some sleep. Mothers, God bless you. You guys go with no sleep for so long. I don't know how you do it. You deserve anything and everything you ever get as far as accolades and pats on the back, because that's a tough gig, man. Raising kids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never ends. So this guy right here, okay, you see the guy right there? What he's doing, if you're not familiar with it, he's catching bait fish. What happens is the bait fish come in, and this is like a big U, and they kind of get trapped. They ain't got no place to go, and they bunch up right here. And this makes for a good place to come and get bait. Now, when I was talking about these diesel motors, the booster stations for this pipe, you see the pipe? That's the booster station. That machine right there, you see the machine right there? What that is that melts the pipes together. So that's out here for when these things break, so they can put them right back together. That right there is the pump. That's a big diesel motor, and it's running a pump. The pump is the red thing on the other side. Now, this right here, this pipe, and this other pump is cooling that tower. It's cooling it so that it'll keep running. So that's a diesel motor, and the red thing is a big gigantic pump. That pipe's coming into it, and then it's pumping and sending it down this other pipe. And then there's a guy here, he's gonna be here all day long, and all his job is to make sure that doesn't stop running. His job is to make it stay full of fuel. If it stops running, he lets everybody know, and then they determine whether they can run without that one or not. He'll open up the gate so it'll just flow through it. And then what he's got to do is he's got to watch the temperature and keep it cool. He's also got to keep that other pump going. The other pump simply pulls water in, cools the motor down, and pumps it right back into the water. So it's kind of like your radiator on your car, but they don't have a radiator on these things. They pump water off the sea. And there is a radiator, but they supplement it with this because those things run nonstop. So here we go, some tourists coming down the beach on their bikes. Oh, look at how beautiful it is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Morning. Morning. Those people look serious. And then it's spring break, which is cool. Get all the youngsters down here. We don't get a lot of youngsters down here all the year. So a lot of them, it looks like moms and daughters. The daughters look like they're worn out, and the moms look very happy. So I wonder what's going on there. So again, this pipe over here, you see it? It goes the whole length of the beach, all the way past Times Square and down maybe half of a mile. And the place that they're pumping from is way out there, 1.5 miles out into the water. So this building here, I showed you that building before. They had the building all marked up to take the stucco off so they could see whether or not it needed structural repairs or not. If you notice up on the building, you notice all the handrails are wood right now. That means they're getting all new handrails. So most likely some of them got broke and they want them all to match, and the insurance company will pay for it. But that's another example of a building that's been significantly impacted and is still empty. So a lot of these are like this building right here. You see that building right there? That's brand new. They just got that built. And that's built to the new hurricane codes. It is framed. The whole bottom of it is concrete, and it's built to the coastal 150 mile per hour rules. And hurricanes historically, when you hit buildings like that, a lot of times if they got a lot of storm surge, they get damage in their lower level, get their utilities that are connected from the upper level to the ground knocked out. But other than that, it's pretty minor. The structures and the houses themselves are normally not affected hardly at all. Now, this building here with the blue on it, complete and total rebuild. They have stripped that thing completely out. So, what's interesting about that building, you see it right there, you see all the red, okay, you see the red up on the side of it. That means after they went through all of that, they're just now doing their structural repairs, which is, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Maybe they couldn't get the structural engineer until now. I don't know. It's interesting though, because they're just now doing it. But they stripped them completely out. Good morning. How are you? Good. Well, so they stripped them all the way out. They put new windows, new sliders, new railings on them, new roof, new HVAC. They did everything. Now, what do you think that's going to cost in condo fees now? Okay, so we don't know. The reason we don't know is we don't know how much the insurance contributed. Maybe if they handled this properly, the majority of it is being done by the insurance company. What you're hearing over and over and over is primarily the insurance companies. A lot of the insurance money got wasted because inexperienced people, that's us condo owners, are dealing with sophisticated contractors who are coming from storm after storm after storm, and they can take advantage of you and overcharge you, and you have no idea that they're even doing it. And then even if they aren't overcharging you, you don't know that you got enough money from the insurance company because you're unsophisticated. So I think the unsophisticated in this subject. So this building here and this building next door, those are both timeshares. Now they're both being pretty much rebuilt all the way, and apparently had enough insurance to them. So what's really cool about this one is they're far enough along. If you see right here, you can see all the pavers. They don't do that till the end because they don't want that stuff to get messed up. So, so that means they're almost ready to occupy that one. Now, if you're following the beach, you know Fort Myers Beach. Right now, we're just passing the Publix. So I'm not sure if that's the halfway point, but it's pretty significant way down here. So we're 46 minutes into this. I'm gonna start putting these probably once or twice a month. I'm gonna put them up and just basically give you a kind of an updated what I see, my opinion, what I've heard. And I'm going to keep doing that. Also going to put up interesting stuff that's going on Fort Myers Beach. We're going to cover the shrimp parade. We're going to be in that. Today we're covering the Historic Society's having a special reading about, they said, the Griswold murders. So apparently there were some sort of crazy murders that went off on Fort Myers Beach. I'm very anxious to see what happened with that, but we're going to have that up on the site here in a couple of days. This right here, that's Newton Park. Used to be a big green building there, had facilities in it. It was a storage place. They used it for different things. This building right here, that's where we tore down that 7-story building. So this is where the beach renourishment guys are coming in on this spot, this part of the beach. So beautiful, 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 beautiful day. Sunny, mild, cold, but not stinging cold. And that is the one benefit of the pipe all the way down the beach, is if you want a place to sit down and chill for a minute. So the tide's out. It's down about 4 foot right now. So here's another building. Check that building out. That one right there, still not occupied. So if you think about the traffic that we're having, you know, 1.5 to 3.5 hours, or 1.5 to 3 hours at times. The other day, a guy was complaining it was almost 3 hours for him to get home. I have to say that's an extreme. I haven't really ever seen that before. I've heard 2 hours over and over and over and over, but the one guy was complaining it took him 3 hours. Now, if you ask me as a resident who rides my electric bike down to eat and go buy all these cars, well, a significant amount of them are people who work on the island, you know, who are leaving at that time, which we don't, typically if you're a tourist here, you're not leaving the island at that time, you know? So is that going to change? Man, it's going to be years and years and years, because there's going to be nothing but constant development going on this whole island for forever. You see all this right here? You see how you can see Estero Boulevard? Before Hurricane Ian, you could drive all the way down Estero Boulevard and you could barely see any of the ocean. Between the garages, the landscaping, and the houses, you couldn't see hardly any of it. So we're coming up on the next booster station for the beach renourishment. And again, inside that pipe right there, there's hundreds of thousands of gallons of water being pumped. And inside of the water is sand. And they're pumping it down all the way to the other end of the island. Island's 7 miles long from Bowditch back to where they're building the new bridge. So, and here is the next pump station. Morning. So, I always wonder how many people know me or recognize me. People are definitely more friendly than they used to be. I'm not sure if it's just I'm smiling more or if it's changed because of YouTube. So, it's kind of interesting. So, okay, so this is another one of those booster stations. The red thing there is the pump. That's a diesel motor. This is your line to cool the water that's cooling that engine. And then this guy over here is making sure that the water continues to flow into it. That's what he's doing over there. You see him? So, and that's his job all day long, is to make sure that that machine stays running. That's his one job all day long. I talked to one of these guys. He had a real strong Cajun what do you call it, accent. Very fun to talk to, very interesting. Had to pay a lot of attention to be able to keep up with what he was saying. Good attitude though. So it's another beautiful day on the beach. Morning. So it's everybody's waking up and coming out. This is Saturday. So today we're going to cover the Historical Society, talking about I think it's called the Griswold murders. I read this on Beach Talk. Ed asked us if we would cover it. He's busy doing his normal Saturday show from the Margaritaville. And then here, this is probably either, we'll find out what this is. This is probably either a beach cleanup. I don't see no bags. Yeah, I do, I see bags. Or it's a race. It could be a race. Let's see what it says. It's the shrimp run. Very cool. The Fort Myers Beach Shrimp Run. All right. I probably should have come to that, run some more of this big butt off. By the way, if you've been watching me for the last 18 months or 17 months, 16 months, whatever it's been, I've lost 50 pounds, and I got rid of the arthritis that was plaguing me. You know, I learned about metabolic syndrome, and I got this weird little diet that I'm on that's easy to follow, and I just feel really good. It's amazing. I was getting old, man. I was getting really old. I was limping a lot. My hand hurt a lot. My neck hurt a lot, all from arthritis. So, and then I got on this stuff called Humira, and it lowered my ability to fight infection. Morning. And I got this really minor infection on my hand, and it got out of control. And I'm still dealing with it today. I've had this infection since October of last year. This is February, October 2024. So think about that. Think about a sore on your body that hasn't healed for that long. What is that? October, November, December, January, February. 4 months, 5 months. So that Humira it's a miracle drug. It took care of the arthritis for me. It made my life better, but at the expense of affecting my ability to have, to fight off infection. So let's talk about this over here. You see this right here, that building? Okay, that is, gosh, I want to say it's the Fresh Catch. Pretty sure it's the Fresh Catch. So this building here, right there, the town's going to tear it down for Terry Prasad. Now he wants to build something amazing at Times Square, and he owns a bunch of it. But he's a slum landlord, and I'm only repeating what I heard. I don't know any of this to be fact. I'm just repeating what I've seen on Beach Talk. So he owned that, and he owned the Junkanoo, and they were going to put 8 of these buildings here on that property. They were going to tear all that down. That's back when Joe Orlandini told me that. This is years ago. Now that they built these two beautiful, magnificent houses, and I don't think they've ever been occupied. So the city's going to tear that down because he's not tearing it down. Now we have tried our best to get a hold of him and get the opportunity to tear it down. So, morning. So at any rate, that's the story on that one. I seen that on Beach Talk this morning. They were showing that they've been warning him for a year, and then he's asking for latitude on things on Times Square, but he won't clean up messes both on Times Square and down here, and that's really pissing everybody off. It's a lot, and be different if he came back and said, hey, I'm really struggling, I don't have the money or whatever, but he hasn't done that. He's basically saying, look, it's my building, I can do what I want with it. So what's going to end up happening is I'll tear it down, and then if you look at the Wyndham, the contract on the Wyndham was 200 grand. Now that guy called me because I did a video on that, and he wasn't rude, but he wasn't crazy about the fact that I gave my opinion on some of that stuff. So we had a professional conversation, let's put it that way. And I have to say, I like the guy, and I think he's dead on. And I don't want anybody speaking into my business either, so I don't really blame him. But what I said is I thought that 200 grand was way, way low. It's going to cost that much to dump all that stuff. Now that's my opinion, okay? And this is America. I'm allowed to have my opinion. So, while the city was going to tear it down, their bid was $600,000. So you see how that's out of whack? Now, our bid on that was, if I remember correctly, Talon said like 380. That's what we would have done it for. So, and it probably would have taken 6 to 8 weeks, and we probably ultimately would have made maybe $100,000. Okay, and these are all just guesstimates. So, with that in mind, Terry Prasad, what he's going to deal with is, let's say just for argument's sake, let's say we would tear that building down for say $25,000. Well, guess what? They're probably going to get a contractor in here that's protected through the government. I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but Honk, one of my competitors, David Maluka, who is our representative for this area, he owns Honk, and Honk is one of my biggest competitors. And I have nothing bad to say about that man. I think he's awesome, and I think he's getting stuff done, and I think he really cares. But I also know he's getting contracts that the rest of us aren't able to get in on. You know, we're trying to get on the list here for Fort Myers Beach, and we're not even on the list. And I live on the beach. And we asked if we could get put on the list, and they said, well, we're not accepting new people on the list. I'm like, really? Because we're fiercely competitive. You know, makes you wonder, huh? Makes you wonder about that stuff. So anyway, let's get back to the story. Terry Prasad is going to end up paying a lot more to have that demoed than he should, and it'll get put onto his tax bill. That's the way that works. So, isn't this beautiful? I mean, look at that. Look at all the birds. See them? Isn't that crazy? I'm going to turn around so I don't startle them. So, okay, now we're coming up on the next pump station. So that's the Diamond Head over there. Okay. And this pump station right here is one of, I think there's 4 of them. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. I'm going to ride all the way down there. So we're at 60 minutes on this video. Good morning. So there's another excavator sitting there. That's that green pump right there. That is to cool that. And that's another pump that's a booster pump for this. And that one's a little louder than the other ones if you're listening to it. So, and again, there'll be a guy, a tender will be here. Morning. And what he does is he just makes sure that that thing stays running all day long so that they can keep the process going. Morning. So, lots going on, lots of houses being built. It's getting cleaner and cleaner every day. It's